So you've heard the stories. Everything was going fine. And then they got married. What were they thinking? That they were going to live happily ever after or something? They should have listened to what happened to the friend of a friend of a friend who had a great relationship until they got married. Now all they do is fight all the time and look stressed and avoid each other. Don't know why they're still together, except, they've got kids. And so now they're stuck. Hi, I'm Amy Waterman, a dating and relationship expert with yourbrilliance.com. And in this video, you'll find out whether getting married really does ruin your relationship. So I used to think stories about couples who fell apart once they got married were just a load of baloney. I mean, seriously, they probably had the same problems before they got married, except, they just hid them better. Surely, if you have a good relationship before you get married, then you're going to have a good relationship after you get married. Like, obviously. Now, I'm going to admit right now that I am wrong sometimes. And this is one case where I hadn't really looked closely enough. What seems so obvious to me, that the relationship skills you develop as a girlfriend will serve as an unbreakable foundation for your marriage, wasn't entirely correct. You see, it's like those seduction experts who are great at getting a girl into bed, but have no idea how to make a girlfriend happy. The two skill sets aren't the same. So being married requires a different skill set to being in a relationship. You can be great at relationships, and then suddenly, surprise, you've got a lot to learn about being married. That's because marriage throws a massive wrench in the works, the no exit clause. You can't get out. You're stuck. You're married. So marriage works a bit like intoxication. Someone once told me that being drunk brings out the real you, the parts of your personality that you normally hide from social scrutiny. Inside the shy girl is a comedian, inside the gentleman is a lecher. Marriage does the same thing. It brings out the real you. It brings out the parts that people normally try to hide when they're trying to present themselves as the person you've been waiting your entire life for. It takes everyone's dirty laundry and hangs it in the front room where it can no longer be ignored. Because here's the thing, you never see the real person when you're dating. No matter how much he claims to be sharing with you things that he has never shared with anyone before, letting you see inside him like no other woman has before, it's just a bunch of lines, because he won't let you see anything he doesn't want you to see. You can be sure of that. So even when you get into a long-term relationship and you move in together, there's still a sense that you're on probation. You want to keep up your good behavior. You don't want to do something to alienate the other person and lose them forever. And so you get comfortable, but not too comfortable. Marriage changes that. Marriage acts as a catalyst for all of your unresolved wounds and all of his. Every single issue that either of you have ever had will emerge. You will feel angrier with your husband than you ever felt with your boyfriend, because your husband is the one who's supposed to make you happy until the end of time, right? Hello, expectations. There's a saying in self-help circles that love brings up everything unlike itself. So the more you love someone, the more you have the capacity to hate them. It's like strong emotions breed more strong emotions. So when you see two perfectly happy people get married and then start promptly fighting and pulling each other's hair out and calling the lawyers, you start to realize that no one is immune. You decided to marry because you thought this person was perfect. And now you're realizing he's got all these issues. His personality has done a 180. All those things you fell in love with, his thoughtfulness and his easygoingness and his sense of fun have vanished. It's like you're with a different man, except he's not a different man. He's a more whole man. He's showing you a side of himself that he hasn't shared with anyone else. He's letting you see him as no other woman has before. That's what intimacy does. It brings out the stuff we don't want to see as well as the good stuff. Now, at that point, you have one of two options. You can get out or you can stick with it. If you do get out, don't be surprised if the same thing happens with the next man you marry or the next. because everyone has a shadow side. And if you're lucky, you'll meet one of those rare men who have done the hard work to bring up and process their issues. And if you're even luckier, you'll have done the same. And then you might get a marriage without all that messy stuff. Might. If you choose to stick with your marriage through the yucky bits, something magical might happen. Dr. Harville Hendricks, founder of Imago Therapy, talks about the importance of having no exits in marriage. We have to force ourselves to stay in difficult relationships so that we can confront and work through the issues we've been ignoring. So cut off all the exits, turn around, and face the beast. He believes that marriage is the ultimate vehicle for personal growth because no other experience triggers us so strongly and in so many ways. Which brings up another popular saying in self-help circles: every conflict is an opportunity for growth. So if you confront your issues straight on instead of trying to blame him or blow up or bag the whole thing, then you experience what you might call uplift. So imagine a plane, right? And this plane represents your marriage. It takes a lot of energy for that plane to get going and roll along the runway until it gets enough speed to leave the earth. And as it rises through the sky, you might think the hard work has already been done. You are flying. But then you hit the weather, turbulence, storms. Your plane gets buffeted about. Your knuckles are white. Your complimentary beverage spills all over the place. You can't even get up to use the restroom. You have to sit there, strapped in, unable to budge until you move through whatever it is you have to move through. And then it happens. You hit cruising altitude. Sheer magic. It's smooth sailing the rest of the way. Your spilled drink is whisked away, your shirt dries, you look out the window and you laugh. You're above the clouds now. Wouldn't you like to have known back when you were in the thick of that storm that up here the sun was always shining? Well, now you do. So there you have it. Getting married doesn't ruin your relationship. It reveals your relationship. You see who your man really is, and he sees who you really are. Yes, it will cause some turbulence, but it also brings you closer. Has your relationship changed as a result of getting married? Let us know your experiences in the comments. And if this video helped you in any way, please leave it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more great videos about how you can live your most brilliant life. And if you've got a moment, come on over to yourbrilliance.com where you can find tons more information about dating and relationships, health, career, beauty, you name it. We would love to see you there. See you again soon.